Welcome to the Mystic Media channel. I am your host, Rabina Rastaban, aka The Realist Astrologer. And tonight I'm doing the free reading for the month of December 2016. Now this free reading is for Libra female, and her man is a Cancer. So her man was born on July 18th, 1977, which gives him a birth number of 18, and that breaks down to 9. 18 is one of the more challenging numbers to be born under, and his life path number is 4. Now, the Libra female, she was born on October 1st, 1978, and her life path number is 27, and that breaks down to 9. So she has two life path numbers, or I should talk to you directly. You have two life path numbers, 27 and 9, and that explains a lot of what you're going through as well. So I'll get into that a little bit. But before I get into your compatibility with this Cancer guy, I just wanted to tell you that this really isn't so much about the Cancer guy. It's about you, and it's about some of the challenges that you will encounter basically in any relationship that you get with, and with any man that you connect with. So one of your main issues is that you have Venus conjunct Uranus, and also Mars is in the mix as well, and it's in Scorpio. So Venus conjunct Uranus and Scorpio alone can be very tricky when it comes to trying to get a traditional relationship. And with you being a Libra, you definitely need a traditional relationship. But that stellium in Scorpio makes it hard, because you attract men that are cheaters. You attract men that want to be in a relationship where, you know, they get all the benefits, but they don't want a commitment. Or they might enter into a commitment with you, but like I said, he might be cheating all over you. And also there's issues with control, power plays, and dominance with all that energy in Scorpio you have. So with Venus conjunct Uranus and Scorpio, it's going to be very hard for you to achieve that traditional balanced relationship. And there's a tendency to go to extremes where you might be in one relationship and it's extremely rocky, and then you might be in another type of relationship where it's just extremely dull and it seems like it's basically dead. So you have that tendency to go to extremes when it comes to your relationship. Also, you have Sun conjunct Moon in Libra, so that reinforces your need to be in a traditional relationship. So it's kind of hard for you to open yourself up to be more of an alternative type of mate, but that is basically what you're called to be in this lifetime. Now, the main issue is your South Node in Pisces. Now, South Node in Pisces can make someone very idealistic. And before I go further, let me explain what the South Node is. The South Node basically is part of your karmic debt that you have to pay back in this lifetime. And the South Node basically deals with those past life tendencies that you bring over into this lifetime that needs to be reduced. So with your South Node in Pisces, you are very idealistic, and you have a need to be taken care of, or at least to always know that, you know, your partner has your back, or that you have this support around you. South Node in Pisces also can make you prone to deception through relationships, but also in any area of your life. It can cause you to attract men that can't commit and that can be very evasive or have escapist tendencies. So that South Node in Pisces can be particularly challenging, but that is the reason why you got with this Cancer male, because he's helping you to evolve into your North Node, which is in Virgo. That North Node in Virgo is teaching you to be more discriminating when it comes to choosing a mate, and also to state your expectations up front and to work towards those expectations instead of taking more of a helpless approach and saying, you know, this guy is driving me crazy or whatever. It's all about you, and it's all about how you choose to react to this guy's behavior, or any behavior whatsoever. Now, Cancer and Libra, they naturally clash. So you already, you know, are set up for difficulty with getting with a Cancer guy. And the problem is with that is Libra is very objective. Cancer is very subjective. So that's the main difference. Cancer can also be very closed in, very personalized, while Libra wants to be very social. Libra is also very relationship oriented, and while Cancer needs a relationship, a lot of times it's very subjective and it's all about them. Cancer has a tendency to be quite selfish, especially when they feel threatened. Now, about him, he has Venus opposition Neptune, which is particularly challenging for men, but really challenging for women as well, but especially for men, because Venus represents the type of women that he attracts or the type of relationships that he gets into. So with his Venus opposition Neptune, he is the type to look to relationships as a means of escape. So there may be other times where he's not really there, because in the same vein, he uses relationships or women as a means of escape. But when he's done with that escapism, or he's done living out that fantasy, then he goes back to his regular life, and it's like you're not even a factor. So that Venus opposition Neptune can bring some significant challenges in the area of relationships. It can also cause him to want more than one woman at a time. It could cause him to be deceptive in relationships. So with that Venus opposition Neptune, and his Venus is in Gemini, which underscores the fact that he usually wants more than one woman at a time, or it can mean that he can't decide on one woman, so he'll choose more than one. He also has Mars at the 0 degree of Gemini, which is very challenging for a committed relationship. Basically, it's very hard for him to settle down with one woman and to be in a firm, long-lasting commitment, even with him being a Cancer. Now, he's at 18, and 18, like I said, 18 is one of the more challenging numbers to be born under. 18 can make one extremely selfish, and also they can have a cruel streak with them. And 18 has a lot of sexual tension with that as well. And his life path is a 4, which underscores what I said about him being non-committal or having issues with commitment. Basically, in this lifetime, he needs to enter into a relationship, but it needs to be more based on friendship and equality, and basically where there's not too many emotions involved. However, your life path is a 9, which means that you need to be more about yourself. You need to be more self-determined. So with his life path being a 4, your life path being a 9, both of you two are very strong-willed. However, the two, it's going to be hard for you to stay together long term, or at least in a harmonious union, because both of those life path numbers are very headstrong, and they could be very willful and basically just focus on, their own individual needs. So actually the two of you getting together is really good for your spiritual evolution, to teach you what to look out for the next relationship, because I don't see this lasting long term, and I don't see it leading to a serious commitment or marriage. Another problem with Mr. Cancer is he has Moon conjunct Saturn. That can make him very opportunistic with respect to women. That also gives some control issues with respect to women. Basically, with that Moon conjunct Saturn, he really needs to be with a woman that's young. He needs to be with a woman that's at least 10 years younger than him. So, I noticed that the two of you are only 1 year different in age. There's only a 1 year difference in terms of your age. So it's going to be really hard for him to be fulfilled in this relationship with you, because he can't take the control that he wants to take. So with a younger female, he will have more of an option. There's my cat. He wants to be on camera. He's a Libra. Show off. But anyway, so yeah, basically with that Moon conjunct Saturn, that makes it very hard for him to relate to women on a peer-to-peer level. He wants to will control. He wants to maintain control. So he's it's kind of tricky with this relationship. But again, like I said, it goes back to you, and it goes back to your expectations being too high, you being too idealistic with respect to him. And basically, if you want to continue to deal with him, you have to do the bending, because he's in the driver's seat and he's not about to give you the will. So there's some challenging aspects between the two of your charts when I put it together. One of the main ones that stood out was your Neptune is opposing his Venus. So that reflects what's in his natal chart. So whenever I see a challenging aspect in a synastry or compatibility chart, and it's reflected in one's natal chart, that means that these issues that they have natally or naturally are going to be compounded in this relationship. So it's basically showing that he's basically doing what he's accustomed to be doing by getting into this relationship with you, and where he's using you as a means of escape. Also, your Chiron is opposing his Uranus. This reflects his natal aspect of Chiron opposition Uranus. This can be a stop and go type of relationship or where you break up and then you make up, a lot of instability, a lot of sudden changes. Also, your sun is in quincunx to his Chiron. That can basically deal with him wanting a relationship that's strictly on his terms, him being very willful, not wanting to compromise. And also, your Jupiter is square his Chiron, so again, that can deal with that as well. Him wanting to basically go along according to his plan. And that Jupiter square Chiron can also deal with there being a lot of space between the two of you. Like, number one, it could deal with being in a long distance relationship, but it can also deal with there's just a lot of space where there's hardly any cohesion. And what keeps y'all together is that your sun is conjoined to his Pluto, which could be very challenging because it could be hard to get out of that relationship because that can denote codependence. And also, he's wielding a lot of control and power over you with your sun right next to his Pluto. And also, you have your Mercury in conjunction to his Pluto, so that's basically the same thing. He's wielding a lot of influence over your mind. With that type of hookup, a guy could definitely make you feel like you're losing your mind. So you got to be careful with this guy. But basically, I said it goes back to you having too high of expectations and being too idealistic, and that deals with your South Node in Pisces. Basically, in a past life, you were given whatever you wanted. You had a very comfortable life, and you really didn't have to work hard. But in this lifetime, when it comes to relationships, you're going to have to work hard for what you want. So basically, the 4-card reading about this relationship, the first card is situation. So the situation is Wheel of Fortune, and that could deal with an up and down relationship where it's on and off, and where it's like a continuous cycle with no real growth. And then the challenge is Temperance. Temperance usually means one person has one foot in one world, one foot in the other world. So he could already be in a relationship, and he might be in somewhat of a love triangle, which makes sense because he sees himself as the 3 of Swords. So with Temperance, it's all about moderation. And like I said, at times there is a tendency to go to extremes with that Scorpio stellium you have. So with that Temperance, you really want him to meet you halfway, but he's not doing that because he wants things totally on his terms. Hence those aspects with his Chiron I was talking about. And the advice card is the 3 of Wands. That basically means, again, like I said, you got to lower your expectations because he's not going to meet you halfway. Basically, you're going to have to do all the bending, and you're going to have to be the one that yields to him because he's the one calling the shots. And the outcome is 6 of Cups. So this tells me that you're not done dealing with him even after I do this reading and I let you know what's up. But on the bright side, it does look like he is going to try to start try to act in ways where, you know, is more harmonious to the relationship. And he's going to start trying to be more sensitive and start trying to be more caring. But like I said, I don't think this relationship is good for you long term. However, it is good in that it's teaching you some good spiritual lessons. And those spiritual lessons consist of being very discriminating when it comes to picking a mate. Stating plainly and firmly what you really want, not just to a potential mate, but to the universe, putting it out there. And also not playing the role of the victim, where, you know, you're in a relationship where one person wields all the power and you're just powerless. And also, just not having high expectations, being more realistic when it comes to love and romance. I hope you found this helpful. And, if anybody would like a chance at a free reading for the month of January, please leave your birth details below along with your birth details of your potential mate or your love interest or your spouse or your partner. And you can provide a question or a little background, but it's not necessary. And if you don't want to take your chances on trying to get a free reading and you need help now, you could go to my website at www.ravina.com and click order a reading. And I provide a variety of readings, from email readings, phone readings, instant messenger readings, astrology, tarot, numerology, what have you. So peace and many blessings. And my next video is going to be part 2 of the Dark Side Zodiac series recap. Peace and blessings. Have a great weekend.